Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Lorraine and welcome to my channel. Now just before I dive in there and pull your cards for today, I'd just like to say I am an experienced and professional holistic and spiritual counselor and mentor, and I offer 100% money back guarantee for image readings, tarot readings, also the programs, as well as spiritual and holistic counselling and mentoring, plus advice to help you with union with self and union with your person, and also astrology charts. Okay, just check the details in the description box below this video for more information. So let's dive in there and let's see what messages the cards have for you about your person here, and also about your guys' love journey thus far. Oh, okay guys, so you're coming in with the Fool card, and you are also coming in with the Devil. Alright guys, so let's have a look at this. Okay, alright. So what I'm picking up with these two cards here, Taurus, for yourself, well, there's more than one way in which I can break it down here. Okay, but what I'm picking up here for both you and your person is that you're constantly thinking of each other. That's what I'm getting here. And what it talks about here also is, you see, because Saturn is actually in Aries at this time, which is your 12th house, and the Fool card is Aries. All right, Mars. Let me just make sure. Here. Okay, and that's in Leo at this point in time. And so what that's telling me there in your reading is that there is a strong magnetic attraction between both you and your person here. And what it can also talk about here in your reading, coming in with the Devil card, is that there is this impulsiveness for both you and your person to act, to do something here towards each other. Here is what it's also talking about here, guys, is what I'm picking up. All right, but because this impulsiveness may, for both you and your person, could actually come in as a pattern and a habit here. All right, you're both pulling back from that here. So you're not actually following through with what you want to do here, because you're actually, this is quite serious for the both of you here, because this is about not just acting off a whim, not just doing something because you want to or you want it. This is actually coming in as, well, I need to think about the other person and how I come across towards the other person. Your person, I do get here that this is the both of you coming in with these two cards here. It comes in as, guys, what I'm picking up is, well, it's like I don't want to live in illusions anymore. I don't want to just think or dream that certain scenarios are going to happen here between you and your person. Of course, this is coming in as the both of you here. I actually want it to be real here. Yeah. But what it also talks about here in your reading is actually being serious here, all right, and knowing and being well aware of your own patterns and habits here. You know, you're coming in as, well, I really don't want to replace what I'm doing here with any other pattern and habit here. let me just keep going with these two cards here. All right, guys. See, it talks about here in your reading, working really diligently in a sense, yeah, on your own patterns and habits. That's what it's also talking about here. Especially when it comes to your person, and this is very much the both of yous here, where you may have taken an action, your person took an action here, but you may not have thought about the consequences, which is why for both you and your person, it's about, hang on, it's not like it's stalled here. There may be a pause coming in here, yeah. It's like coming away from what if, and saying, no, this is it. This is how it's going to go. Here, no longer, like I said, it's no longer about yourself. It's, you know, this is both you and your person. It's no longer about what you want here. Yeah, it's about, is this okay with your person, and vice versa here. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going here, guys. Alright, I want to keep going. Alright, guys? Okay, let's go. Before I keep talking. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Thank you. Alright, so you were coming in with the Three of Wands. You have the Queen of Cups, and you were coming in with the Nine of Cups here. Yeah. Obstacles and challenges here in your reading. Yeah, it is coming in as exactly what I was talking about here in terms of patterns and habits, and also that impulsive nature here to act, coming in with the Three of Wands here. And so what it can talk about there in your reading, it is coming in, and I was picking that up here, it is coming in as, so what makes me happy here, and trying to figure out here, guys, what makes you happy. That's what it's also talking about here in your reading. There is an element here of expectation here, guys, when you're coming in with the Nine of Cups, and you also have the Three of Wands here. Yeah, of course, this could very well be your person here in your reading. But I want to keep going here. It does have that element of here, hoping and wishing here. It really does, because of the Three of Wands. And so what it can talk about there in your reading, so it's a challenge to wait for your person. what if this happened? It does come in as here in your reading, constantly thinking about your person here. Okay, with the Nine of Cups and the Three of Wands. Now coming in with the Queen of Cups, what it can talk about there is that you do have, this Queen of Cups does have strong feelings here, all right? And yeah, it comes in as, that's what I'm picking up here, guys. Wanting and hoping, wanting, hoping. It's become a pattern and a habit here to just think about your person here and not take any action at this time because you were waiting for your person to take the action. That's what it's talking about here. And so it's become a pattern, a problem. Is that the right word? An obstacle and a challenge here, guys, to wait here because you do like your person. You are actually quite keen on this person, is what it's saying here. Now, yeah, there is a distance here, guys. I do get that here. All right, let's go. Okay. All right. So you were coming in with the Two of Swords. You were coming in with the Seven of Swords. And you were also coming in with the King of Wands here in your reading. And so what it kind of talks about there in your reading, you're coming in with here, waiting for your person. You know, potentially here in your reading, what it's talking about there, Cancer, is, what it's talking about there, Taurus, okay, is constantly thinking about what is the King of Wands up to. It comes in as, when is this person going to commit to me? That's what I'm getting here. And waiting for this person, here is what it's saying here in your reading. But you know, with these wands on swords on the board, what it can talk about there is that you're actually both waiting here. Yeah. See, potentially here in your reading, coming in with the Queen of Cups, what it talks about there is that you can't control the outcome when it comes to the King of Wands. And they can't control the outcome either, is what it's saying here in your reading. Because with the Nine of Swords, did I say Nine of Wands? Excuse me. Because with the Nine of Swords, what it talks about there is that you have no control over what people are going to say, what people are going to do, because they're going to do it regardless here. All right. What it can also talk about here in your reading with the Nine of Swords is, like I said, there is no control here, potentially here in your reading. This is what I'm picking up. Excuse me. I just want to pull another card for you. All right, Taurus. And let's just see. Six of Pentacles. Okay, Taurus. All right, let's keep going here. See, what it can also talk about here, all right, potentially here in your reading, is not putting up with any more shenanigans here that the King of Wands is going to pull here. It's talking about something serious here, because I did talk about the patterns and habits coming in with the Fool card here. All right, and now what it does talk about here in your reading is that there's a fine line in the sand here, not wanting to go back to how you in this King of Wands did things in the past, is what it's saying here. It comes in as, I took some careless, I was careless in my approach. I didn't consider how I didn't consider the actions that I took was going to have such a consequence on the King of Wands, on the Queen of Cups here. You know, this is coming in as the both of you, because when you're coming in with the Six of Pentacles, what it can talk about there in your reading is that whatever one person did, the other person did it. That's what I'm getting here. Well, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to do that. And so it became about that. Do you understand? And so with the Devil card and the Fool card coming in here, I did talk about patterns and habits. It became a pattern and habit here. Now, like I said, what it can also talk about here in your reading is that kind of behavior, that way of thinking here, that stuck and lack mentality here in your reading, and negative self-talk here, that is ending here, because remember, that's what I was talking about here in your reading, because it does come in that way here. Now that's what I'm picking up with your cards, with both those cards here. So what it talks about here in terms of the Six of Pentacles here, there is an element here, guys, or a sense of wanting to reconnect, wanting to re-establish here. And if that is the case, then it's that those actions between the two of you here, the way in which you treated each other here in your reading, that needs to be completely let go of here. It needs to be just wiped, that slate clean here, guys. And what it also talks about there is, you know, get to know yourself again. This is both you and your person. Get to really understand why you made those choices and where did it come from, that kind of behavior here, so that you can come in with the Six of Pentacles, so that it is an equal give and take relationship here. All right, guys, that's what it's talking about here in your reading. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Taurus. Thank you so much for your reading. Thank you for watching. And I'll catch you later. Bye.